This video is going to feature the Jackery HomePower 3000 power bank. Now I know you might be thinking, I've already seen this product in other YouTube videos over the last 3 to 4 months. Well, this one's going to complement a lot of those videos because in this video, I'm not going to focus on any kind of specification mathematics where we do hypothetical scenarios on how many watts a particular device uses and how long it would run on the Jackery. What I'm going to be doing for this one is doing real runtime test results that I've been conducting over the past few months and giving that data to you, the viewer. The devices that I focused on for those runtime tests are the ones that I felt matter for power outages. So I didn't do any kind of runtime tests on things like blenders and power drills, for example. This one's going to focus on appliances that you actually need to keep powered on during a blackout. There's a lot to cover in this video. Let's get right down to it. This one features the runtime test results of the Jackery HomePower 3000. Let's get started. If you're new to this channel, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Cliff, also known as the Urban Prepper, and on this channel we focus on the topic of urban emergency preparedness in addition to gear reviews in relation to emergency preparedness. This is actually the first and only power bank video that I've ever done. I've had it featured on other videos like my power outage preparedness video, but I haven't done a dedicated review of a power bank just because I felt that this particular type of product is a little bit oversaturated in terms of reviews on YouTube. However, over the past few years, I have been using a Jackery 500 as a backup power source for my CPAP machine for power outage situations. So when Jackery reached out to me with regard to this particular product, which would be an upgrade of my normal CPAP backup power source, I thought I would take a dedicated look at it. So they sent this power station over to me and I've been testing it for multiple months now to conduct those runtime tests. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there's a lot of other great YouTube videos out there with regard to the HomePower series. This is actually the baby of the HomePower series. They go up and larger from here. All of those are available on the Jackery website. In a lot of the videos that I saw, it looked to be a lot of specification mathematics where they did an unboxing of it and then said hypothetically, if you had this particular device connected to this, it would run for this amount of time. What I found is that I want to get the real data that it actually takes. And just to give ballpark figures for common power outage items that is easy for anyone to understand. So as you're watching this video, you're not going to hear any of the technical jargon with regard to sine waves and watt hours and voltage and all those things. The only numbers that I'm going to be mentioning in this video are runtime hours. I know that everyone's refrigerator is slightly different, but this is just going to give you a ballpark figure as far as what you could expect for a particular power outage device. I'm hoping that if my mom watched this video that she would be able to easily understand the Jackery HomePower 3000. If you're more interested in a lot of the technical specifications, there's a lot of other great videos on YouTube that you could watch. Again, this one is the Jackery HomePower 3000 in layman's terms. Before we get into those runtime tests, let's quickly go over the basic specs of the Jackery HomePower 3000 and how it works. All of the specs are available on the website if you really want to get technical. Here's a simplified rundown. This is a super huge long cycle battery. It weighs around 60 pounds. So it's pretty heavy to carry and doesn't have wheels, but it's probably half the weight of some other larger batteries that we've shown on this channel before. Some of those ones weigh close to 120 pounds. You have multiple regular AC outlets, a large outlet for connecting to something like a transfer switch on your home, multiple USB-C and USB-A ports, and a car-style port. You could charge it from the side using the wall charging cable, or also the ports for connecting to a solar panel, which we'll talk about more later in this video. It has really good, solid construction. And personally, I'm a fan of the Jackery color scheme. I like how they carry the orange theme throughout their devices, such as with the charging cables and handles. And unlike a gas power generator, this one is silent and safe indoors. You don't have to worry about fumes. So in layman's terms, you want to think of this like a silent gas generator. But the real question isn't about specs. It's about how long it'll power the things you need most when the lights go out. And that's why I tested only using appliances that actually matter in a power outage. Not things like blenders or drills. Even things like your microwave or your washer and dryer don't make a lot of sense for short-term power outage purposes. Those things are going to quickly drain the majority of batteries that you'll see out there. So I tried to focus on the appliances that matter the most during a blackout. To make sure my tests were accurate, I used a simple kilowatt meter. This plugs right into the outlet, and then you plug your appliance into it. It shows you how many watts the device is actually drawing in real time. I also used a power out alarm. This is a small device that plugs into an outlet, and it makes a loud alarm sound as soon as the power is cut. This let me know the exact moment the Jackery hit 0% and shut off, so I could stop the test and record the runtime. For our family, the number one thing that we're concerned about during a power outage is our refrigerators. Again, I connected the refrigerator to the kilowatt meter and connected that to the Jackery. To avoid too much technical jargon in this particular video, I'll just let anyone that's interested see the readings that were captured on this video. But in general, for all the tests, what I captured from the kilowatt meter was pretty accurate to what the Jackery also listed. During my testing, I found that the full-size refrigerator would last around 1 day on a single charge. For me, that's enough to keep groceries safe through an overnight outage. But you're probably not going to be able to keep your refrigerator charged for longer than a single day on a single charge. I also ran some runtime tests on the ISCO APL55 portable refrigerator, which is a popular portable refrigerator used for camping and overlanding. Using the Jackery HomePower 3000, you'll get around 3 days worth of power to that ISCO refrigerator. So if you were to bring this on a camping trip, you'd probably be able to get a weekend's worth of power to that refrigerator, which would be really handy. Now, food is important, but in extreme heat, staying cool matters too. The next test that I ran was for a common window air conditioner. The HomePower 3000 wouldn't be the best for an all-home air conditioning unit, but it makes more sense for these portable style ones. In my power outage preparedness video, I talked about for extreme weather conditions, I like making containment rooms within the house because it's easier to keep a room cold or warm when you create some makeshift walls in a larger room. So if you happen to be in a power outage due to an extreme heat situation, you can make some small containment rooms and then use a window air conditioner to try to keep that room cool. During my testing, I found that the air conditioner would run for a little bit more than 11 hours, which would be enough to keep one room comfortable in a heat wave for half a day. Again, central AC is too big for this unit in my opinion, but a window unit works fine for short relief. That said, 11 hours isn't exactly a long period of time. So I also ran some tests using a stand-up fan. These are the kind that you could get over at stores like Home Depot. When connected to the Jackery HomePower 3000, this particular fan would run for 2 days, or around 48 to 50 hours. While it won't keep you as cool as an air conditioning unit would, having the fan blow air during an extreme heat situation in a smaller room would help. Next, let's look at something that's life critical for a lot of people: medical gear. For the last several years, both my wife and I have been using CPAP machines while sleeping. Previously, I was using the Jackery 500 for backup power to my CPAP machine. This would only give me a couple days, even with the humidifier off. Having the humidifier on uses a lot more power than when you have it off, and I found that I don't really need to have it on. So I tested the Jackery for several days with my CPAP with the humidifier off. During my testing, I found that it would power my CPAP for a little over 10 nights. I thought that was pretty good, especially compared to the smaller Jackery that I was previously using. My wife likes using her CPAP with the humidifier on. However, that uses a lot more power. During the extended runtime testing that I did with the CPAP with the humidifier on, I was able to get around 3 to 4 nights, which isn't a lot. So if you happen to have his and hers CPAP machines and you're going through a power outage, make sure that you have the humidifiers off on both of them. If you were to only run 2 CPAPs using the Jackery HomePower 3000, you'd probably get around 5 nights for the two of you with both devices. I thought that was pretty good overall. Speaking of life support, if you keep fish tanks, you know how fast things can go downhill without oxygen. We have 2 large aquariums in our home. One of them's a 72-gallon and the other is a 150-gallon. And while aquariums probably aren't important to a lot of people, to my wife, they're the most important item to keep powered during a power outage. These aquariums use large canister-style filters, heaters, and LED lights. In the past, when we've had power outages, I used an outlet timer to help keep them powered on occasionally to help conserve power. However, for this particular runtime test, I just let it run continuously. During my runtime testing, I got around 14 hours on a single aquarium. That's with everything running: the filter, the heater, which takes a lot of power, and the LED light, which barely takes any. This would help save a tank during a short-term power outage before you would have to recharge the Jackery HomePower 3000. To run both of them around the same time, the Jackery lasted around 7 to 8 hours. Of course, in most homes, your phone is the number one thing that you want to keep charged. So for cell phone charging, Jackery estimates that you'll get around 300 charges on a single charge of the HomePower 3000. During my testing, I found that it was more along the lines of 150 to 200 charges for something like an iPhone 15 Pro. However, I found that phones barely make a dent in the battery, and you could have your phone powered for months on a single charge of the Jackery. Even if every member of your family had phones that they needed to charge, you'd be able to keep them charged for multiple months on a single charge of the Jackery HomePower 3000. And speaking of family, sometimes during power outages or emergency situations, you have to be concerned with family morale. So I also wanted to make sure to test this device on our entertainment system. Our entertainment system has a 50-inch TV, the cable box, a modem, and some other smaller electronics. During the runtime test for the TV, I just did it with normal conditions, so I didn't have the TV running for multiple days straight. So I just tested to see how it would work with us using the TV as normal. During a power outage, you won't have cable TV, but if you have a DVD player or a video game console, you could keep those powered using the Jackery and have your family entertained. During my testing, I found it to last around 40 hours continuously. So that was with constant power to the modem and to the cable box and to the DVD player. And then the TV was on for multiple hours at a time as the family watched TV. But under normal conditions, you'll get around 40 hours, which is huge for keeping the kids entertained and the stress level down. In the past, I had largely been using these type of power banks and generators with regular extension cords and just having those spread across the house. Well, I finally invested in a home transfer switch, which you could call an electrician to install for you. I think that the Jackery HomePower 3000 is probably a little undersized for an entire home. However, the HomePower is a series that Jackery has, and you could get larger ones. For powering your whole home, especially if you have a larger home, the bigger, the better for the battery. But using that home transfer switch outlet, the Jackery HomePower 3000 would keep our home powered for maybe 1 to 2 hours at most. Again, we have multiple refrigerators and multiple aquariums and other electronic devices. This shows why you don't want to run everything during a power outage and only focus on the essentials to allow you to get much better mileage. That said, you're going to have to be strategic with what devices you want to give power from the Jackery and when you want to recharge that Jackery. This unit works with Jackery's solar panels, which are really nice. They're foldable and allow you to charge the Jackery HomePower fairly efficiently during sunny days. In a power outage situation, you'd probably want to charge the Jackery by day and use it at night. You could charge it by day using a gas-powered generator or using the Jackery solar panels. However, power outages always seem to happen to me when the weather is bad and the sun isn't out. I live in Washington State and it's oftentimes cloudy, rainy, and overcast. During your standard Seattle overcast day, you really don't get enough sunlight to quickly charge the Jackery. During blue skies, it's impressive on how quickly it will charge. I think solar works better for certain regions like California or Arizona or other places that get a lot of sunlight. For regions that have poor weather and cloudy conditions, you're going to have to be a little bit more strategic with how you recharge it. So after testing this for multiple months, here's what I'd recommend if you're thinking about using one of these for preparedness purposes. The main strength of the Jackery HomePower 3000 is that it is silent and safe to use indoors and can cover the essentials. And for me, essentials during a power outage are things like your refrigerator, possibly running a smaller air conditioning unit, keeping your aquarium powered, charging your cell phones, and possibly some basic entertainment. No need to power your electric blender or power tools, and even your dryer. Just focus on the essentials. Some of the limitations are that it is heavy for some people. My wife and kids have difficulty lifting this up, and I imagine that older folks would as well. However, it is half the weight of a lot of larger units. It does drain quickly under large loads. As mentioned, Jackery does have some larger versions of the HomePower that you might want to consider if you're looking at powering your entire home. For me, the 3000 is best for short-term peace of mind, but not long-term off-grid usage. However, I think that it could get you through a short-term, one-day power outage. I also think that it would be really great for extended camping trips. You could keep your portable refrigerator powered, your electronic devices, and other things that you may bring while camping out in the woods. Keep an eye out for sales that are offered by Jackery. You could find this listed at a significantly reduced cost. At the time of making this video, Jackery happens to be running a great sale on these devices. And I'm sure that they'll also feature this on other sales at various times. I provided a link in the description box on where you can pick this up. I hope they enjoyed watching this video featuring the Jackery HomePower 3000 power station. It was a lot of fun for me to make, and hopefully you were able to digest all the information in layman's terms without a lot of the technical jargon. I provided a link in the description box below for where you can pick this particular device up. Again, this is more the smaller unit of the HomePower series. They get larger from here, so I think this would be best served for a short-term power outage in an average size home. If you have a larger home and you want to have it for an extended power outage, you might want to go with one of the larger models. As mentioned, Jackery oftentimes has sales running on these particular type of devices. So I'd keep an eye on their website for deals that are going on and pick one up when it's affordable for you to get. For me, every prepper should have both a gas power generator and a power station such as the ones made by Jackery. You could run the gas power generator by day, charge this thing up, and then at night you could switch over to the Jackery HomePower, which would give you silent power for your home. Please feel free to leave any kind of comments below in the comment section regarding this video, and stay tuned for more urban emergency preparedness videos. See you next time.